Alec Motyer points out that the blessings, you see, God says, I saved you, now obey me, and these blessings will come. And he names the 3 blessings. Motyer actually presses a little bit and says he actually thinks that God is almost saying, the blessings are yours, and yet they're not yet yours. Notice he doesn't, and Motyer points this out, he doesn't say, I want to make my covenant with you. He says, I want you to keep my covenant. And the hint is that God's saying, I've already brought you into a relationship with me. Now I want you to make it formal. Or another way to put it is the blessings are there for you. They're yours in principle because I've saved you by my grace. But now it's through obedience that you will actually realize them. That's Motyer's understanding. I think he's right. Well, what are those blessings? Look, you'll be my treasure. You'll be a kingdom of priests. You'll be a holy nation. First of all, you'll be my treasure. The word treasure there is a pretty specific Hebrew word that meant the personal wealth of an ancient king. In those days, kings were absolute monarchs, which meant they essentially owned everything. If you were the king of a land, you essentially owned everything in the land, practically. But this was a word for your private personal wealth, something that was your own possession, something that you loved so much that you took and you put it in your room and it was your own personal delight. And God has the audacity to say, on the one hand, obviously he's already treasured them or he wouldn't have saved them. On the other hand, he's saying, if you obey me, you will be my treasured possession. What is that? That's why Motyer is right here. And saying, obviously God has already treasured them. He's already treating them as if you are my treasured possession. You are a jewel. You are that which I delight in. And yet he's saying, I want you to obey into that kind of relationship. I want you to obey so we, I guess, can treasure each other. And think of how obedience works in a relationship like that. If you fall in love with someone, what do you start to do? Think about it like this. When you fall in love with somebody, you try to find out what pleases him, right? You try to find out what makes him happy, what delights him, what he likes, right? And then you want to surprise him by giving it to him or doing it. What are you doing? You don't think of it this way. You don't use this term. You are seeking the will of the beloved. You're trying to find out your beloved's will, what your beloved wants, what delights and pleases, and you are complying. You're essentially obeying your beloved's will. Why? Because you want to delight him.